it up the ground. Dribble handoff to Shelton. Pulls at the free throw line with a jump shot. Got it.
Cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Will Shelton Show. Got another special guest. One of my longtime friends. I mean, you can say long time. I hated him for a few years, but longtime friend. Longtime friend. OG, man of many talents. Shaun Sanford. How you doing, brother?
Good, my brother. I appreciate you having me on, man. I do. It means a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the GOAT gracing me with his presence for a little while, man. Just a little background on you, man. I know you was a multi-sport athlete. You played football in college and basketball.
I did, unfortunately.
A multi-college athlete, a multi-college sport athlete.
You leave a lot of time to go ahead.
Eventually a pro basketball player for a few years, and now one of the best and fastest rising basketball trainers that I know. I'd put you up against anybody, as from what I've seen. But man, tell me, it's starting back at that college time where you were playing two sports. How did you choose? Like, what was it, a love for both, or were you just good at both? Like, talk to me about that a little bit.
I probably love basketball more, but I was better at football, to be honest.
Right.
But I think it changed for me mentally when I broke my ankle my sophomore year in football. And I realized being 5'11", 180 pounds ain't going to cut it at quarterback in the NFL, no matter how good you think you are.
Right.
Like I had people scouts that were calling from CFL to do that, but I was like, I'm not going to Canada. It's cold, right? I ain't doing that. So
Right.
it was really an easy choice, Will. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was an easy choice to make a decision after that point to do that. Like, because before that, it was just like, damn, I'm better at football. Might have to be it. But once I got hurt, my whole mindset changed. Like, I was like, niggas get hurt all the time in football, bro.
Every day, B.
One wrong hit, one wrong misstep, it could be curtains and ugly. So that was an easy decision. But I will say this though, I think playing football helped me out a lot of basketball as far as the physicality part. My mindset's a whole lot different than normal basketball players. Getting bumped and pushed and stuff like that did not bother me. Still doesn't bother me to this day. It doesn't bother me. And I think that's why all kids should play multiple sports. Even though I think once you get to high school, because the way things are now, you got to choose one. But up until that point, I think you should play multiple sports because every sport intertwines some way.
So basically, play both sports until it becomes too competitive in either or you can't. At that point you have to choose.
Yes, you got to choose one because of the way things are set up or how sports are year round now. In every sport, baseball, football, basketball, there's stuff going on year round. So I feel like by the time you get to high school, you got to make a choice. Like, I'm gonna ride with this and see what happens. I know some kids still play two sports, but one sport always suffers.
So being on the multi-sport topic, obviously you saw the Austin Rivers debate that started on ESPN. The who's the better athlete? Obviously, it went left and it just got completely out of control. What's your take on that? How do you feel about that conversation?
A bunch of rich, egotistical millionaires are arguing about some shit that will never happen. That's my take on it. Because regardless of what can't none of them fools in the NBA play in the NFL, and can't none of them fools in the NFL play in the NBA. It's two different lanes, two different types of training in the off season. Football players are stiff. You can't be like that in basketball. It's not the same type of movements. So no, just like basketball players couldn't take the physicality of football and play. The only position a basketball player might able to get away with it is receiver, and that's still a reach. That's a huge reach. That's a huge. I'm gonna tell you why. Do you know how good DBs are at that level with them?
No, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Like
1000%.
Like you ain't just getting open. I don't care if You might catch a jump ball in the end zone, but you ain't just running a route and getting open in the middle of the field. It just ain't going
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Both of it is. I understand guys are athletic, and I hate when I seen a video the other day with DK Metcalf playing pickup.
I hate that shit. I seen it.
Like, oh my God, he can hoop. Bro, he's playing against dudes that just got off work at 5 o'clock. Of course he's out there hooping, bro. He's an athlete. He's still an athlete, but he can't play in the NBA. Like, let's be real. He can't play in the NBA. In the NBA, he's a point guard. He's 6'2". He's a point 6'3", 6'2", whatever it is. He's a point guard. So miss me with that. He can't guard Russell Westbrook.
No, he cannot. And we both know how I feel about Russell Westbrook, but we're not gonna go there. Man, transitioning from that, going from playing basketball and football in college, which to me is already impressive, to going overseas and playing ball in Japan.
Japan.
Was that the only country?
Argentina.
Go ahead.
Japan.
Okay.
Dubai. So
how many years you play overseas basketball?
6, from 22 to 28.
That's impressive, Shaun. And I don't give you a lot of compliments, but I didn't know. You say that again?
Lord knows you don't.
But there's a reason behind that. I mean, I haven't gotten a lot of compliments from you over the years, but this is not a episode about my feelings. So, man, playing from 22 to 28, you were in all these different countries, going from being a 2-sport athlete in college to a pro in one of those sports. What was that transition like, not only from the aspect of college sports to being a professional at something, but now you're away from home, however many hours. Now you have all day to focus on this craft. How was that transition for you?
Basketball part was easy. It was the life part. The life part was just different. Yeah, I remember, man, I'm old, so there's no Instagram, there's no Twitter, there's no Snapchat. I'm calling home on Skype.
Wow.
My parents have a dial-up computer at the house, so they're trying to figure out how to get online and talk to me. The language barrier is crazy because the first 2 years I was in Tokyo, so the language barrier is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge adjustment. I tell everybody, it's not for everybody. Like I told Malik, it's not for everybody. It's not. You have to be mentally tough to play overseas.
Right.
If you're not like even if you are in a EuroLeague situation, it's still tough because you're away from home. You're in a totally different environment that is out of your norm.
Right.
It's like taking someone out of their house and throwing them in the woods and say, figure it out. It's the same type of situation. Like, because you get there, you're thinking basketball, but you forget it's 24 hours in a day. You ain't gonna play basketball 24 hours in the day.
Right.
So it took a minute to just the first month I was ready to come home. I call home every day and I was like, I'm coming home. I'm all days like, no, you're fucking not. I was like, this ain't like this is not it. It was a lot. But once I got comfortable, it was smooth, man. Like once you learn how to move, learn how to conduct yourself on a daily basis, it's smooth. But it's a huge transition. I'll tell everybody. I'm not going to act like it. Anybody that asks me, kids I train now, and they talk, I ask them, they making decisions about what they want to do. I just tell them the truth. Like, it's not easy till you see their first check. Then it becomes a little easier.
I can only imagine, man. You touched on the league, and we'll get into that later. But man, as far as the basketball aspect, going from college basketball to the pro level, obviously there's differences in the details. But what was the biggest difference doing that, going from college to pro?
Realizing it's a job, and anytime they can get rid of you. That's the biggest thing. I watched a dude get 28 and 12, and they sent him home because they said he was selfish. So like, I've seen a lot. Just realizing like every game, like your job's on the line. You're American, so they expect you to be superhuman. You're supposed to rebound, pass, score, defend, everything. You're not supposed to get tired. You can't be hurt. You have to be superhuman. That's what
dog. No, I don't think people, and I haven't experienced it for myself, but obviously in our circle we have a shitload of people who have played professional basketball overseas. Man, I don't think people realize how cutthroat that business is, especially for, like you said, Americans, because they expect us to be superhuman.
You have to be athletic, you have to be fast, you have to be quick, you have to be this or that. And if you're not, you better have a specialty. You better be a great 40% shooter from the 3-point line, or you better be uber athletic and have a crazy motor. Like, there's no time to say, oh, I had a bad game. There's no time for that. If you do, you better not have another one right after it, or it's going to be a conversation about what we need to do with him. Our import
Right.
is not our import is not doing what we brought him to do. We're paying him all this money. Why is he not doing what he's supposed to do? And I think that's the first thing I learned. Like, this is a job.
That's the thing, bro. I know there's always the conversation of, obviously, with college sports in general, coming from and transitioning into the time that we're in. There was always the argument of, oh, they're treating us like just slaves, not slaves, but workers, etc., because they don't look like, they only see the numbers. We bring in all these millions, but they don't care if we eat at night. But I feel like overseas basketball, you're really that. Like, you're really just, are you performing for me? And if you're not, okay, bye. We'll bring in somebody else to get your spot.
Exactly.
Like,
unless
man,
you're unless you're in a country where it's more secure, say like let me try to put it away. Somewhere like, say you're in Europe, say you're in Spain, you're in the Euro League. It's a little less cutthroat. You know, you have a little bit more leeway with your play, but you can't be ass. Let's be very clear. You can't be ass. But there'll be
right.
a bit more leeway because your contract's probably on some guaranteed shit. So if they do get rid of you, they're going to have to still pay you anyway. So they don't want to do that because it's a different type of situation in those type of countries and stuff as far as where I play. I never was at that level, so I'm not gonna act like I was. I was never at that point. I was always in that cutthroat situation. Like, I
Mm,
seen come in, play for 2 months, not do what they're supposed to do, and be gone.
right.
And it's not even just the basketball part. Like, you gotta be able to get along with your teammates. They play. That's a big deal to being overseas. Like, you have to be able to get along with your teammates and be involved. I know I've trained guys that had problems getting along with teammates, and it messed up their situation, or it made them develop a label or get categorized as not a team guy, or he doesn't buy in type shit. So that all that matters of it. It's not like in the NBA where everybody goes home and does their own thing. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, shoot around. Yeah, it ain't. It's all
So
about coming.
you actually got to spend time like outside of the facility with these guys.
It's will like where you have the team bonding shit, like some old high school, college shit. That's the vibe. And I like talking to guys now. It still hasn't changed. That's the vibe.
Really, it's still like that.
It's the vibe. You're gonna get some team bonding, team events in, especially during the preseason. Not as much during the season, the preseason, yes.
Right. But man, I transitioning out of that, going from being a pro basketball player overseas. Why? What made you stop? Was it just, were you forced to stop? Did you get to call it quits on your own? How did that end?
It was really a personal decision after I got hurt again, and I was just like, after I got in rehab, and I was over it.
Gotcha.
Like, it's like starting from scratch was a lot from in my mind at that time. I was just like, I don't. The desire to go work out 2, 3 times a day and then be gone for another 8 months, 9 months was just, I was over it at that point.
People, and I know I keep saying stuff but like the the rehab process, man, you're like a child. You have to learn how to do everything again. Like, man, I hurt my back in high school. I hurt my back in college. And Reed will tell you, I was walking like an 80-year-old man. I was hunched over, sitting in meetings like you gotta like sit like this, like just to find that perfect spot. The rehab is like, you're like, I've always been a big weight room guy. Going from having 405 on the squat rack to not even being able to get the bar, that's demoralizing. You look in the mirror, you don't feel like yourself. Yeah, exactly. Like, on the court is one thing, but now I'm in my room and I can't even get up from my bed to my chair without pain. And man, it will really take a lot out of you.
It will take a whole lot out of you to realize that in that moment, even though they say you're cleared, you're healthy, you're like, I can't move like I used to move. I know I can get back to that point, but do I want to go through all that right now again and have to do this and do that and get back in shape and this and that? And I was just like, no. I was like, because by the time I get ready and I'm comfortable, now I'm already back over there and I'm thrown right back into it. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay here. This is too much.
Right, right. So obviously, you made the decision to stay here in the States. When did training come about? When did it become okay? Now let's get to training.
It probably didn't happen because I stopped in 2010. I didn't start training until 2011.
Wow.
I got a real job. I got a real job for 2 weeks and I quit. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. I got a real job for 2 weeks. I was an IT because I got my degree in computer information systems.
Mm-hmm.
Did it for 2 weeks. Told me he can keep his job and his salary. This is not for me. The cooler talk wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. Cooler talk and did you see the game last night? What are you doing after work? You trying to go grab a drink?
No. Ah,
I want
man,
to say
good
some,
old cooler talk.
I want to say some other things, but I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, I'd rather you not get me canceled before I can get off the ground.
It wasn't my as the white people say, it wasn't my jam. It wasn't my
Yes. Moving on. So like when did you find your stride with training? Like how long did it take you to build that up? How long did it take you to find a love for it?
I instantly loved it because it was basketball, so that wasn't hard.
Right.
The
Right.
hard part was building clientele. Me and my boy Christian started 2011, like I said, sat on his couch, came up with a name. Was throwing names right before he threw it out there. We were hoops. It started with him like working with the girls, and I was working with all the guys at the time.
Mhm.
And I started with two kids. Tomas Gray and Desmond Paul. I'll forever be grateful to those guys. I worked them niggas out. They didn't know shit about me, didn't know anything about me. I worked them out every day for free. And season started, and both of them niggas started going crazy. And then it just started like slowly. It didn't take off. It slowly I started getting more and more clientele. Um, so I say probably like 2 years in, I probably had like a consistent 25, maybe 30 kids 2 years in. Um, and then I think that third year is when Christian moved because his wife got a assistant coaching job at Ole Miss. He moved, and that's when it took off because I stopped copycatting everything I seen him do, and I had to learn how to train. Because I would literally watch him train the girls, and I would just go back and do the same shit with Tony did. That's what I would do that, or do some shit that I used to do in workouts, and I do it. But I didn't I didn't study the game enough at that time. I just didn't. I didn't study the game enough. That's just the truth. But once he moved, man, shit changed for me. Like I learned I think training has a feel. I think training is a feel. I don't go into the gym with a plan. Everybody always asks me, "Do you have a plan?" I don't have a plan. I go off of feel. I watch how the kids warm up when they're stretching and shit. See if they're locked in. Are they running their mouth? Are they giggling? Are they laughing? Are they focused? Are they ready to work? When we start doing some warm up drills, I see how they're moving. Like, are they engaged? And then I build off of that. Of course, you have parents that call you, especially for individual workouts. They want to work on this and work on that and type shit, whatever. I'll fill it in, but I always try to fill out the kid because if they're in a shitty mood, there's no point in me trying to run the shit out of them or force them to do this or force them to do that. I'm gonna try to keep it simple as possible so they'll stay engaged. Or if I get a kid that don't want to be there, they're just there because their parents brought them. I have to figure out like what am I going to do to keep them engaged in this situation instead of just tuning out and start being lazy because there's nothing worse than being in a workout and they don't want to be there. That's
Right.
nothing. I promise you. I tell everybody that's the worst thing as a trainer to be working someone out and they don't really want to be there because it's almost like you're forcing the issue, and I hate forcing the issue with anything.
Right.
So, but it really took off then, man, and my training went to another level probably around 2014, 15. Started working with guys from MT consistently. I had a lot of high school kids. I had kids coming in from other cities, towns to work, and it really blew up, and it's like really been like that ever since. No exaggeration. Like training just took me everywhere. Like I thought basketball did, but training just took me everywhere.
I mean, that's kind of how. I mean, I didn't train with you until I was done playing and thought I wanted to get back into it, and then I went through that one session with you and realized I didn't want to play anymore. But I realized, like, no, I don't want to get back in shape. But man, that's how I kind of met you, and I didn't realize how big you were in the training space because I just met you as Shaun. I didn't meet you as, oh, this is Shaun the trainer from like in Murfreesboro. Like this is the guy you go to. I mean, I met you through John, my uncle. Like I didn't know. And then I look up and now you're big time. I mean, you're still on your way up, but like I look at you and I see you doing stuff that's just as good, if not better, than the guys that get the millions of views, the Hanlons, the Handies, all those guys. So I mean, so what was there ever a guy from 2011 to now 2024 that really just helped you take it up a notch, or was everybody just kind of like helping you along the way?
Ah, man, that's a good question. I think it was three guys, three people that like helped my training go to another level. Probably Marcos Knight played MT, still plays overseas now. Him, Perrin Buford, because those two guys are probably two of the hardest working guys that I've worked with. I mean, I worked with a lot of hard work. Everybody coming at MT at that time was worked hard, but those guys were like super duper skilled. So it was always a challenge to try to push them and challenge them with different things. And then Chase and Allen, man, who's a assistant coach with the Phoenix Suns now, man. Chase used to do shit in workouts with, and I'd be like, wait a minute, show me that shit again. Like,
Is
what
that
you
the one that was? Is that the one that's he used to be with the Wizards G League team?
in the books? Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
And he would do shit, and I'd be like, what did you just do? And he would show me, like, he would really, because he worked out with, in his pre-draft stuff, he worked out with Tim Grover.
Okay.
He had a lot of footwork stuff that I didn't have at that time. And a lot of footwork stuff I still to this day, he showed me from, especially stuff in the post. I didn't know how to teach post player shit at that time. I ain't never played in the post. I ain't know how to do that. So it was a lot of stuff that I still do to this day that he showed me in the post and everything else that really took my training to another level. I ain't gonna lie to you. It did.
That's actually to know that you because what about what year were you working with Chase?
Oh God, dang! Keep telling people my age. Uh, what years was he playing, man? Damn, that's a long time ago. Probably around 13, 14, 15. At that time, he was still playing. 13, 14, 15, 16. I think he was.
So
I think
within your go ahead.
I don't think he got into coaching because he went to Miami first. I think he got into coaching to like 17 or 18, something like that. Go ahead.
Man, so within your first 5 years, you're getting information from the guy that trained Michael Jordan.
Yes, bro.
That that's invaluable. Like
It
you're
is.
like you're literally one. So there's you, there's Chase, and then there's Mike. I mean, Tim Grover, who trained Mike.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And I was a sponge. Most trainers would not. Their ego is too big. They're not gonna ask their client like, "Hey, show me that again." I don't know about that. I didn't give a shit. I wanted to learn. Like, tell me. Like, I need to be able to learn this and perfect it so I can teach it.
Right.
So that was a big deal, man. I tell them all the time when we talk. When we see each other time to time, then we talk on the phone at least probably twice a month, maybe. But tell him all the time, like he taught me a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I have to this day. I still call him and ask him for shit. I asked him for a bunch of pre-draft stuff when I was working on Malik for pre-draft.
Right.
He sent
Right.
me a big booklet of shit.
That's but bro, that my mind is still kind of blown by that because you not only was that relationship there then, it's still there now. And he's in the NBA, he's in the NBA now, like coaching, he's in those circles. He sees the best of the best do what they do every single day. So having a direct pipeline to that knowledge, I can only imagine how that benefits guys like Malik that you're with now.
Listen, bro. He told me the other day we was talking. Chase was like, bro, he was at the Wizards. I worked with John Wall and Bradley Beal. Then he went to Milwaukee. He's worked with Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, etc. And then he gets to Phoenix, and now he's working with KD, Bill, and he's like, nobody can argue about the journey I've been on. I was like, you ain't lying. That's crazy. That's a crazy journey to soak up basketball knowledge, bro.
That is. I mean, and he's around it every single day. And for a year, like that's like you said, that is a crazy amount of knowledge to soak up. And to have I mean, I'm sure you do, but I would be on his phone at least 3 times a week. Hey, like spoon feed me some kind of knowledge, man. What you got for me this week?
I don't hesitate to text and ask for some shit. And I ain't talking about no tickets. I'm talking about information.
Right.
But I do
Right.
ask. But I do ask for tickets. I will be in Phoenix this fall and winter. Please believe it.
As you should. As you should. But bro, so kind of moving to now, obviously you're working with Malik Dia, who's at Ole Miss, right?
Uh,
Ole Miss, he threw his hat in the draft just to kind of see where he was at no, where was he at last year? Belmont. Yeah. And was getting off. And and obviously I saw Malik when he was just a scrub in the run. We was just all trying to put our hands on him, make him better. But now he's elite in the game of college basketball, trying to make that next step. So man, just talk about what it took from a training perspective. And I mean, you're like a big brother figure to Malik because y'all are around each other all the time. What was that? What was that development like?
it was a journey. I think that's the best word to describe it. It was a long, tedious journey. He dang, I'm trying to be nice. Bro was terrible when he first started working out. He'll be like, I'll say it now. He'd be like, I wasn't that bad. I'm like, you weren't that good.
He was ass.
Uh, but I will say this though. The reason Malik is elite now is because Malik believed me when I said, bro, if you really work on your game, like start taking this serious and sacrifice a few things that other kids are gonna do as far as going out and doing this and doing that and yada yada. And like if you like really lock in, I was like, bro, you can play big time basketball. And I think it was probably around his end of his freshman year when I started seeing his skills started to develop. And that's when I told him, I was like, bro, you have a chance, but you got to take it serious. Like
Wow.
you play too much. You think this is just a game. It's a game in the big picture, but for the goals you're telling me you want to achieve, you got to be a little bit more invested into this right now. And by the end of his sophomore year, man, like Malik started to turn the corner. But I think it was his junior summer is when everything clicked. He got a team thad, and them first 2 or 3 tournaments that spring, he put on a clinic, and that's when all them offers started rolling in, and he took it to another level. We're gonna leave the Vandy situation alone, but he took it to another level.
No, I didn't believe he was gonna be this, and I feel comfortable saying it now. I don't know if it just was I wasn't around it every day. I didn't see him enough. I just didn't believe. I saw the offers coming in, I remember in our group chat, I'd be like, "Man, is he really that good?" And you've been telling me for years, like, yes, like obviously you said pretty much what you just said. He still got to work at it. He still got to take it serious. I just didn't believe, and then I watched him at Belmont, and I'm like, oh, oh, he is okay. He is like that. And then so now I can't wait to see what he does at the SEC level because he's ready for it, obviously.
Easily. I think the biggest thing that I'm about to give myself my own flowers that separates me from other trainers. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
I love it.
I can see it before it happens. I've seen it with other kids, females and males. I've seen it. I've seen it with one of my females right now, Addison Mills. I've seen it probably about her towards the end of her sophomore year. I seen it. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be special. Like, got a really fucking good chance to be a problem. And now she's at Lipscomb. I'm gonna say it, which I wish she wouldn't have went there, but she went to Lipscomb. Uh,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
the truth. That's another story though.
It sounds like it.
Seen it with her. I've seen it with Alexa Middleton, who was a McDonald's All-American in high school, that went to UT, then finished at Iowa State, and still playing basketball overseas right now. Like I've seen it several times with kids. I've seen it before it happens, before everybody else jumps on the bandwagon, like, oh my God, he's so great. Because you see him every day and you start to see him develop little things that you've been preaching and they doing it second nature now.
Right.
And you're like, oh man. Then you watch him play ones, you're like, oh shit. Oh, okay. And then you go watch him play pickup, and you're like, oh, you're contributing now. I'm really watching it with Malik's little brother right now. That's what's crazy. His
Oh,
little
so there's another one of Malik.
bro, he's like 6'4", 6'5" now. He's hitting a little growth spurt. And I was just like him with Malik. I was worried. I was like, God, bro, you just not gonna get it. And now, like, it's starting to change. And I'm looking at them like, ooh, if you can just get a little bit more athletic, you might have a chance. I don't know. You just gotta get athletic because you're just not athletic yet.
Right. Bro, how do you I didn't plan on asking this question, but now it just kept popping in my head. Whenever a guy comes in the gym or whenever you see a guy play, how do you formulate? I know you say you don't come into the gym with a plan, but how do you formulate something that's a start, a progression, and then obviously the journey doesn't finish until you put the ball down. But how do you formulate that start and progression of his training to develop him to where you foresee he's going to be?
I feel like it's like I feel like it's like a jar. I'm gonna explain what I mean by a jar. Say you got a jar, you got a bunch of marbles.
Okay.
You one marble and you throw it in there, and it's a little, it ain't full. And then the next time you throw two or three, and it starts getting full. I feel like it's the same way with training. You'll give them a little something, put in their bag, and then you'll see how they operate with it. Does that work for him? No, that doesn't work for him. We're gonna throw that shit out. That's not gonna work. And then you'll do something else and like, okay, this might work because the last three times we did this drill, he's starting to pick it up and it looks smooth and it looks comfortable. And I'll tell a kid, you need to add this to your bag. This is you. This is something that you can play out. This is what you can do. And then sometimes you tell the kid, like, don't do this. This is not for you. We're gonna stop this. This is not for you. This is not the way you move. And I think that's why I get frustrated when I see trainers train everybody the same fucking way because everybody is not the same fucking player. I
That's
get it.
exactly what you're talking about.
I get it that you're in groups sometimes, whatever. But when I orchestrate groups, I try to put the skill levels at the same way. I'm not trying to mix in uh, a guy that I know is not really skilled with three other guys that are super skilled because he's going to slow them down. We're not going to be able to do what we need to do in this workout. So I think that's my biggest gripe about trainers is like, well, that's not the biggest gripe. I got a few, but that's one of my biggest gripes with trainers, bro. Like, you can't train everybody the same way, bro. You just can't. Everybody moves different. It's no different than when I see kids doing the quick twitch shit that they see Handling doing. I'm like, bro, this is not your game. Like, you need to stop. You're
It's not for you.
not like, stop it. Or my biggest pet peeve is when motherfuckers send me stuff talking about, we need to do this. No, the fuck we don't. You can barely make a layup. Why the fuck do we need to do this for?
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, man, along the same lines, obviously you're being a basketball trainer, you get to work with kids, you get to work with high school, college, pro, all levels, even younger than high school. Really, you're at the front lines of basketball. You have a front row seat. Obviously, there's a change. There's been shifts in basketball over the decades that it's been around. What do you see the biggest shift being right now as far as kids coming up? Obviously, if you like what 10 years ago, it was the three ball. Steph Curry came in shooting from half court. What do you see the change being now? What's the next shift? What's the next evolution?
I don't know if it's going to be a huge shift right now, other than I think the biggest shift lately is just all is being positionless basketball. Whether you're a one or a five, you have to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot.
Right.
It didn't always just have to be like that. Like Embiid and Jokic and all those guys have changed it where you have to be skilled at the five now. You can't just be a basket guy and just back people down and I'm stronger than you and I'm gonna lay the ball up or dunk on you. I think that's the biggest shift. But I think the biggest problem in basketball right now, as far as training, is we are teaching kids, even though I don't. to make way too many moves that aren't realistic and that aren't game-like. There's my biggest pet peeve is watching other training videos and outside the three-point line, they're making 12 moves. And then they get inside the paint, they just go straight. They get inside the three-point line, they just go straight to the basket and lay it up. If it was that easy, it'd be a lot of fucking pros out here right now. If it was that easy, the
Facts.
like shit don't get real till you cross that three-point line, bro. Like
It's
you got
easy outside the 3-point line.
like it's easy to make one move past your first person and then pull up for a three, and it's not a good shot half the time, but it's easy to do that. But when you get past that three-point line, you gotta be smart. You have to process shit quick. You have to know if I'm gonna shoot or I'm gonna pass or I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. And that's what I try to focus on. And kids always like, we're always working on pickups and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, think about how many times you do that shit in the game when you drive to the basket, bro. Like that shit matters to be able to spin Euro step, side step, low pickup, high pickup, cuff the basketball. All that shit matters when you're attacking the basket. And it just irks me when I see motherfuckers with 12 cones on the floor making 47 moves outside three-point line, and then they get past the three-point line and they just go to basket or regular layup. And I'm thinking, boy, I wish basketball was that easy. I swear I wish it was. It's not that easy. It's not.
Facts. Bro, and that's kind of one of the things, like, I watch your YouTube shorts, and I will insert your YouTube here, but like I watch your YouTube shorts. I've seen you train in person. I've been through one of your training sessions. Like that was one of the things that I took away most from your, like, it's not like you said, you're not spending all day outside 3-point line dribbling the fucking basketball. It's now you're working on the actual game of basketball that comes when you get past 3-point line. There's hands swiping at you. Now you got a low pickup. You got a high pickup. You might have to wrap that bitch up like a running back. Like that was whenever I met you, this was me. Like you're not taking it from me, but now I'm running over people. But then I got a little bit older, and I seen like people you work with going through, bringing low pickup, high pickup, like different things, stepping through in different ways, like going off 2 feet. Like that was always the most impressive thing I took from you, because I didn't see many trainers anywhere working on that. It was always the flashy between the legs, behind the back, crossover, step back, three in your face. Like I didn't see that. I didn't see that from you. There's a place for it, but you didn't focus your whole thing on it.
No, there's no point in it. I mean, I ain't gonna say there's no point in it, but it's just not reality. I tell kids all the time. Ain't no coach gonna let you dribble the air out the ball, bro.
Facts.
Not no high school, college coach. I say I love you kids, but y'all are not them. You're not.
Right.
You're not Harden. You're not Luka. You're not. Oh God, I hate this nigga, Jason Tatum. You're not. Don't let you dribble till you decide to make a move. I was like, you have two, maybe three dribbles to get where you need to get, and then you got to make a decision because of what you're playing high school, college basketball. The help is going to be there in no time.
Right. A couple dribbles, make a decision, or get the fuck off of it, move the ball. Like, but
I tell kids all the time, if you're worried about the person in front of you, then you don't need the basketball. You need to go stand in the corner. Because you should not even be looking at him. You should be looking at where the help is and where the help is coming from. Because the first person you should be, I'm cooking him. I'm not worried about him.
Right. That's anybody that's even halfway good at basketball. You're not worried about that guy. Unless you just can't dribble, you can't create your own shot. I get it. If you're just a shooter or that's not what you do, cool. But 9 times out of 10, you're not worried about that guy in front of you. But with that being said, obviously, focusing on the guy that you hate, the Celtics just won the championship. You're more unhappy about it than I am. You're an actual Lakers fan. I'm just a Bron fan. How many do you see?
God willing, I hope Jason Tatum sees a shorter this or some shit. Fuck that nigga. Fuck him and his what he say? What did he say?
We did it.
Fake ass. He goes and quotes Kanye at the club. You're a lame. Get the fake crowd on the sideline. You are a lame ass nigga, man. You got a beautiful son and you acting like that. You a lame ass nigga, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Man, look, he said that, not me. I'm a fan. But man, how many, using your unbiased basketball knowledge, That team is stacked, obviously from top to bottom. They got a decent coach. How many do you see them getting before their run is over?
I think it's over.
Wow.
I think this is one and done.
Jesus, why?
Unpopular opinion. I think it's one and done. I think that regardless of what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum say, I really don't think they like playing with each other. I don't. I just don't believe it. I think Jaylen Brown really wants to be the man. And getting this MVP was a big deal to him, just like it was to Tatum. And you see it on Tatum's face when they called Jaylen Brown's name.
I did see that.
I feel like it's like we got one. We're gonna try to get it again next year. We're both under contract, but don't be surprised around year 3 here. You start hearing they don't win it again, and I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, or if I'm right, and they don't win it again the next couple of years, don't be surprised you see that boy Jaylen Brown. Let me get up out of here, Brad. This ain't for me. You know, he's a person. He don't bite his tongue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's one and done, Will. I'm gonna tell you why. I feel like it's one and done because I'm not gonna say it was easy getting to the finals. Nothing is easy.
Right.
They had a lot of shit fall their way. It was almost like the Warriors in 15. A lot of shit fell the Warriors' way in 15. You got Kyrie hurt the first game, Kevin Love, Kawhi Leonard got hurt in the conference finals that year. A lot of shit went their way. I'm not saying it's easy. It's never all the niggas are still pros. I get it. But when shit falls your way and the teams lose their best players, I don't know, man. I'm serious, bro. Like Milwaukee's gonna be back. They're gonna have a chip on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is gonna feel like he got to prove himself all over again. Feels like he's not getting respected. Dame's gonna try to get him one. I feel like if they make a move to get some defense, they could be a problem. Get rid of Patrick Beverly, get some real defenders. That'll be a problem. I think Philly's gonna do something this summer that nobody expects.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think they're gonna do something to improve their.
Okay.
Like, they're trying to get a Paul George or trying to do something to improve their roster. Like teams are gonna try to get better, and it's so hard to repeat with the same exact team.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it. And then you don't know who's gonna come out the West, man. Denver improves their bench, they're gonna be better. Minnesota's got all that experience out the way now that everybody thinks that you have to have.
Right.
Shit ever. I think New Orleans is gonna be better than everybody thinks if the niggas stay healthy. If Ingram and all the niggas stay healthy, which is a big if, let's be very clear, it's a big if, because him, McCullough, and Zion are always hurt. But when they're healthy, they are tough, bro. They are super tough when they're healthy. And OKC's gonna be better. They're gonna be
OKC.
Huh?
I don't believe him. I can't believe in OKC. I can't bring myself to do it. I think they got to get rid of Giddey and get somebody else in there. I just don't believe. I mean, you can't have one of your main guys not be able to shoot. Giddey can't shoot.
You gotta make moves. You gotta make moves.
Yeah.
I think like the West is gonna be better again. It's gonna be the same thing. Sacramento gonna try to figure out how they can get better with their sorry asses. The Lakers. So I just don't see it real. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't see it. Pacers are gonna be a threat, even though I hate to say it because Reed said this shit all a long time ago, and I hate admitting that he was right.
He did say it's low topic.
They're gonna I just don't. It's so hard to repeat in today's basketball. That's why I'm saying it.
Right. I guess we saw that with the Nuggets. You did see that with the Nuggets.
You have to have a KD, Steph, and Clay in their primes. You have to have some shit like that right now. And I don't look at Boston like that. I feel like Tatum can go cold real quick. Jaylen Brown can go cold real quick.
Because the type of shots they take, everything is a drill. Like everything is a sidestep, fade away. I'm not getting into that, but it pisses me off.
Get into it. Because my boy Christian said the same thing. He said, it looks like Tatum's like doing a drill every move.
Exactly, bro. It pisses me the fuck off, Sean. Because like you said, everything's a sidestep three, between, and it's like, dog, you are 6'10", dumb athletic. Get to the rim and dunk on somebody. Or if you don't dunk, you're right there at the rim, lay it in. Like it pisses me off.
You are who you train with.
anyways.
True.
You're right, and you're right because I do see that. You see Drew Allen's effect on every guy that he trains with.
Bill,
Yes,
Embiid, all of those guys. You see Wiggins left him. Wiggins like, I'm not doing this shit no more.
that's because it's not him. It's not. It wasn't. He's dumb athletic, and he's supposed to be shooting side steps.
Goes back to what I just said. You train everybody the same way. That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
That's why I feel he needs to go because he don't do that. Go ahead.
Man, I appreciate your time. I got obviously congratulations you're on being a upcoming father.
Yeah.
Man, how far are we out now? What's the due date?
June, the little baby be here June 26th.
Oh, we less than a week. we, are
June 26th.
June 26th. Jesus, we almost right there. Are you obviously you're excited? Is there any nerves there?
It was nerves before because we was trying to get everything that we need. Once we got everything that we need at this point, because it's gonna be some shit. You're like, oh shit, we need this. Oh, we didn't get it. That's part of it. I ain't tripping about that. But I think it's more anxious right now than nervous. More like you're just ready to get this going, ready to get it started. You want to see how she's gonna be, how she's gonna look, how she's gonna act. Is she gonna act like me? Is she gonna act like a mama? Is she act like her mama moving out? Type shit.
Right.
Like, I just need to know all these things. I'm just excited for that. Like, everybody's like, you're gonna be so tired. You're gonna be the. Don't tell me what I'm gonna be. Every situation is different. Don't tell me what I'm gonna be. What my child is gonna do. Just because your child did that, don't put that shit on me. Ain't got nothing to do with my child is gonna be her. That's what she's gonna be. She's gonna be Kobe fucking Ray Lynn Sanford. That's what the fuck she's gonna be. Okay.
Kobe Ray Lynn Sanford. I like that.
About any all that other shit. I'm excited. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't been this excited in a long time. I'm excited.
I see. Man, I've known you since I was about 18, so almost 10 years now. You've seen me grow up. I've watched you progress into your experienced age. Man, I can honestly say I'm proud of the man you're still becoming. I appreciate your guidance, man. It's invaluable to me. It really is. I know I don't say it enough, but it really is. Being able to reach out with any question and knowing I'm gonna hear back with the best answer you have, I do appreciate it, brother.
Love, my guy. I love you guys. You and punk ass Reed.
Man.
I love Quan now too, even though he hated me too before. I love him too now. Even though he
No,
moved up.
yeah, we had conversations about you, but
Hey, y'all hated me because we hooped and I talk shit. That is the only reason y'all hated me, bro. That's it.
You goddamn right. That's why.
We was gonna bust y'all ass. We was gonna let y'all know. Fuck what you talking about.
That wasn't it. You like the trash talking didn't stop. Like we could go out. It's like it's still shit talk. Like, all right, bro, I'm trying to enjoy my drink. We learned to love it though. Last question for you, bro. Obviously, new expecting father. Congratulations again, June 26th. We Work Hoops is growing. We got Malik finding his way, going to SEC, going to be in the league in the next couple of years. What's next for Shaun Sanford? What's next for you, brother?
I'm trying to get a PD job at MT right now, man. I'm trying to get on player development MT for this upcoming season. Hopefully it happens. No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. That's my main focus right now, man, is to get that job because I feel like I should have had it a long time ago. I'm not even gonna lie to you. As many of the guys that I've worked throughout the years over there and seen their progression from working with me, I feel like I should have had that job a long time ago. But that's my main focus. Other than my child, that is my main focus right now is getting that PD job in August at MT. If it doesn't happen, it wasn't for me, that's fine. But that's my main focus right now. And then secondly, I want to open up a gym in Murfreesboro. So I'm trying to figure out warehouses and stuff in the city that makes sense price wise to get a
Right.
gym. I'm tired. I appreciate the Boys and Girls Club and all this stuff. I do,
Right.
I do, but I'm on their time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I have to wait till their kids are all out and all this and that in the summertime and everything, school year, all that. And I just need it to where if I want to go to the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning, motherfucker, I can go to the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning because it's my gym.
Bro, I briefly tried, or not, I'm still wanting to get in, but I dipped my toe in the training waters, and that was the first thing I heard. Like, man, the hardest thing about training, it has nothing to do with basketball. It's finding somewhere to actually train. And
That's
that,
the number
go
one
ahead.
dilemma. People are like, well, just get your own gym. If it was that easy, don't you think everybody would fucking have one?
Facts.
And I don't
Facts.
corporation, like it's a corporation supposed to be coming in here from Chicago. It's supposed to be building a big facility and
I
one
saw
of the
that.
one from Chicago. One of the females they trained, she's like, she called me at first and was like, they're coming in, they're doing this and they're doing that. And she's working with them, and it was cool. It sounds cool, but I don't want to be under nobody. And
Love it.
that's just the truth of the matter. Like it sounds good and all that shit, and I hope it works out for them because it's enough money for everybody. That's what I tell everybody. You'll never hear me, man. Don't work out with him, man. You don't know what he doing. Like, you got time for that shit. But I just don't want to work on it. I don't want to have to answer to someone. That's just not
Understood. Well,
my
I'll
thing.
say this: our next time us being on here, next conversation will be from your gym, man, and with the player development job in hand, brother. Hey, I appreciate it. You, man, anything you need or want to promote, man.
No. Don't promote anything. I'm never been that guy. My work speaks for itself. You want to find out, nigga, just come find the page on Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or YouTube. You'll see it. I ain't gotta promote shit. Just look for the big head nigga with the little legs. You'll find him.
That's a bar, Sean. I don't have to promote anything. My work speaks for itself. That's a bar. I'm stealing that. I'm stealing it. That's a great place to end. Sean, I appreciate it, brother. I love you, man. Everybody, it's been Shaun Sanford with the Will Shelton Show. We appreciate you. We out.